Blank slate, state of mind, graffiti art.
Kyle, I think this is episode 7.
Episode 7 it is. This would be
A number of perfection, if you will.
The podcast awakens.
This is when we go back to the 4th episode and do the same thing. We just zhuzh it up a bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
We just had Thanksgiving, man. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for Thanksgiving. And also, by thinking about Thanksgiving, it reminds me of the fact that we have done something just over a year ago now. You want to talk about that?
It is true, yeah. And before we get into this, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this podcast that we enjoy together tonight. As I was setting up the room here, I was getting some butterflies as my heart was beating faster. Again. I get excited when we get together and do this. But so just a little over a year ago, the Dead Rockstars came out. Can you believe it's been a year?
Our baby is 1 year old. Our baby's actually probably closer to 7. But it's been public, for one, right?
Right.
Like
the world's been able to see it and smell its, poop diapers and stuff, for a year versus just, behind the scenes, us,
If you were to Google our book, Kyle, you would find out that the world thinks that we have a pretty baby.
Oh, yeah, without question. The world, as in the people we've coerced into writing reviews of our book. Yeah, but
I stumbled upon one the other day. I was trying to, I got you a Christmas present, Kyle.
Oh, Jay.
And I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be coming next week. And I don't want to give too much away, but you're going to be able to hang it on your tree. And I went looking for images, and I found a Patreon blog of somebody that interviewed us and had a whole thing and had our pictures and stuff and talked about how good the book was. And
wow.
And I thought, wow, we're out there.
We are out there. Yeah. I mean, still, if you Google the Dead Rockstars, it's the first thing that pops up, Amazon. If you type in the Dead Rockstars into Amazon and search it, it's the first thing that pops up. So that's exciting to still be on top of, it's all perspective, Jay. It's all
we're on top.
Yeah.
Alternative history fiction with rock stars that fake their deaths. We're number one.
We're number one in the galaxy, the known galaxy.
We're number one.
That's right. But in this past year, I was curious, what do you remember? What are the things that stand out about, book related that we were able to do, we were able to experience, how we were able to share this book with our friends and family in the world? What's something that jumps out to you as a fond memory from the past year?
A special memory for me was driving to the Wolf Chase Galleria in Memphis, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's Germantown or where that is in Memphis, but somewhere in the Memphis area. And walking into a Barnes & Noble and walking over to a shelf, and there was a book with our name on it.
There it was. Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was probably one of those moments where you always, you write a book and you're like, is it going to be in bookstores? And to find one in Barnes & Noble in Memphis, the home of the king, I thought was pretty amazingly epic.
Yeah.
Special moment for me.
We actually have a video of that. We may be able to throw that back up on the socials or something just to
do that.
Remind the world of, when you walked into a Barnes & Noble and there it was. Yeah, that was, even though I didn't see it, you sent me the video and I still got to experience it. It was pretty fun.
Emotional. Yeah.
A little bit.
What about you, buddy?
That's a really good question. We had so many fun book parties, our wonderful friends and family that were kind enough to say, hey, we're going to invite our, friends and family over to our house. We're going to not spare any expense, a lot of them, and throw you guys parties and tell everyone to go spend money, and buy your book. And, I remember, our first one, the first one kind of is the one that's clearest in my mind. But at the Palmore's house, and I remember seeing my cousin-in-law, Wayne Den, with 10 books. He bought 10 books. I just remember seeing him, carrying those out. And I'm like, he's never going to give all those away.
Yeah. And whether or not they're still on his shelf at home, we don't care.
No, I don't care one bit. No, but I do know that he has given many away, if not all of them. So
that's great. I found out recently that the reason why we sell books on Amazon is because my mom goes and buys a couple like every so many weeks and gives them away to people. So
wow, how about that?
Yeah, Kathy Watson is
thank you,
keeping
Kathy
the dream
Watson.
alive. Yeah, she's making us number 300,000 on the list today.
That's exciting. That is fun.
The parties were awesome, but what is really great for me is like in the trickling months that have happened, it's up to a year, there are people that actually read it and then they'll tell me about it. And typically they're surprised by that they actually liked it. Or it was, it's a lot better than I expected it to be, that kind of stuff, backhanded compliments or whatever. But no, seriously, like people are genuinely, they enjoy our story. And that means a lot to me because, when we started writing it in particular, and when we finished it, the world was a scary place. I mean, it still is, right? Whatever. But,
sure.
But like, it's nice I think it's important to have fun.
Yeah.
And I believe we did something that was a lot of fun and entertaining and well done. And I'm proud of it. And I'm excited about book 2.
Yeah, me too. One of the things that stands out in a similar vein to what you just said to me is I've had multiple people tell me when I got to the end, I wanted more. I didn't want it to end. I wanted another chapter. I wanted, wanted it for the story to keep going. I think that as much as anything has given me inspiration and encouragement and excitement about book number 2, and how we can continue this story, and just keep it going, keep the story going. I'm so excited for, sort of the plans we've started to make a little bit in Play-Doh. They're still very moldable at this point, but we've got some plans going. We got
some plans,
a couple of embryonic chapters written that are pretty exciting.
They are fun.
Yeah. And I'm pumped for the future to get this thing going again. And get my fingers are ready. I feel like my fingers are tingling and they're ready to start writing again.
Okay.
On the Dead Rockstars, not my other writing, but this, particular writing.
One of the things that, if we could talk about like as far as past year and being thankful and even our writing process, it's really, really helpful to have two brains kind of making one brain, because my chapter that I wrote in particular, I was kind of stuck and I wrote some things and I wasn't like in love with it. And you were able to just kind of go, well, it needs to do X or Y. And when you said it was like it clicked and everything kind of came to life for me. That chapter came to life for me in particular. Life came to life for me. And, a lot of it was because of us getting to work together and not just me by myself, because, sometimes you can get stuck and it's nice to have each other to kind of get us unstuck a little bit and think a little differently and be able to put our heads together on that.
Yeah. It's, that's, and you're referring to our new book, the first chapter that you wrote. That was really cool to be able to look at your work and think, man, if we just did this little thing or this little thing, it would take it to the next level. And I remember I was at like a leadership seminar, back in the past, and somebody talked about, the way people are wired. And what's really cool is I think the way you and I are wired are different in a complementary way. Some people are wired for like vision. Some people are wired for, how do I improve your vision? I'm not good at casting the vision, but how can I improve your vision? Some people are wired for, to make your vision happen, here's what you need to do. Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, John Carroll, I think, is really good at that. He's good at vision stuff too, but he also he's strategic. He can help you map out a plan. And then there's some people that are like, hey, I can do the work to make your vision happen. I can, you give me the list of things to do and I can just hit the ground running and do it. And it didn't occur to me that the one in that quadrant of, I like your vision and here's how we can make your vision a little bit better. That's what an editor does. And that's what I do for a living now. It's like this, like interesting kind of how it all came together. And it's fun to be able to do, my work in our play is not the right word, but in our work as well. I can do what I do for a living.
When we started book 1, you weren't doing that yet. And so you've got a couple years underneath your belt, maybe more now, that really is benefiting us. It's going to make things even better for what we do. And so I'm excited about that.
Yeah. And I feel like you're really good at like seeing big picture and ideas and vision and stuff and, kind of top of the funnel. And I kind of help bring the funnel down. And then we together sort of when we get to the bottom of the funnel to where this is where it really needs to happen. I think that's what's really fun about sort of our collaboration and the way we work together.
I agree.
So
I agree.
thankful, man.
Well, cool, man. Happy anniversary. Cheers to
1 year anniversary.
1
Here's
year.
some-
What do you get for the first anniversary?
It's like paper, isn't it, or something? So how that's appropriate. That's
Yeah.
appropriate that it's a book, in
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
We're happy with digital selves too. If you want to find it on, a Kindle or whatever, buy it that way.
That's
but
great.
you
I
know,
love
if
it.
you want to support
Well,
our
good.
1 year anniversary, the Dead Rockstars, deadrockstars.com or Amazon.
One of the things that you talked about maybe us doing as we kind of kick off this, even though it's retroactive and we're probably closer to Christmas than we will be Thanksgiving when this does get released. Well, no, it's come out. Does this come out tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It's supposed to be tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. So we're right in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we'll cut that out later.
One of the things you talked about was maybe spending a little time and talking about some things that we are thankful for. And with a caveat, with a little bit of a descriptor, if you will, can't be anything sappy, right?
Yeah. We're not doing the, forced thankfulness around the Thanksgiving table on Thursday, like everyone figure out something you're thankful for, that's not what's happening here. But I thought, what are things that we're thankful for when we think about what we enjoy, what we like, what are we thankful for? And how could we express to our listeners, what we are thankful for, and maybe that they might be thankful for too. So yeah, I think we'll maybe exchange a few ideas and talk about what we're thankful for, and hope you all enjoy.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, would you like to kick us off? You got
I'd love to kick us off. I need to set something up here though. So let me vamp for just a minute while I get something set up.
Another harmonica?
No, I'm not going to pull out a harmonica.
Okay.
No, I'm not. This might take a second. But give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. Are you about to? Is this going to be Lee Greenwood? Like, are you going to do "God Bless the USA" right now?
I'm not.
Oh wow!
What am I thankful for, Jay? The playoff-bound University of Tennessee Vols. Give him 6 touchdown, Tennessee Vols. Sorry, I should have had that more. Ready to roll. But
That's okay. That's a good one. Coming from the great state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt was not able to play spoiler on Saturday, no matter how much in the first quarter you thought maybe your dreams are going to be dashed.
And
we're not able to close the deal.
That's really, I am thankful for Tennessee going to winning, beating Vanderbilt, but also most likely going to end up in the playoff for the first time. They're doing this 12 team thing, and excited about that. I don't think we can win it. Maybe, we can win in the first round, but I don't think we have the horses to go the full distance. What I really want to talk about though is the hilarity of my friends and your friends losing their ever loving minds in that first quarter. There was some consternation, some heartache, some I was afraid some of those guys, if they were in traffic, they might just veer into it. They were have to get talked off the ledge.
Well, it doesn't help you in any state that the mighty Fighting Watsons, the Vanderbilt Commodores, the Diego Pavillas, they beat some teams this year, and they beat some number one teams in the country, and they almost beat 2 number one teams in the country in one season. And so for you guys to get to the end of the season after having such a great season, typically the Vanderbilt game is like a little bit of a walk in the park, and to have a 100-yard kickoff return right there on the front end and then be up 14-0, and you guys are like pooping your pants a little bit, I'd have to say.
So here's the context. I was driving home from Texas, where my parents live, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, and later on it's something I'm thankful for. But we were driving home from Texas. I'm somewhere in almost to Arkansas as on our way home, and I'm the sole driver in our family, so I've got to do it all. So I can't really be on my phone while I'm driving. I've got to focus. But every now and then I can just kind of pull my phone up and just glance to see the score. And I'm feeling my phone just bzz, 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 bzz. It's just going bananas. And I just know, okay, something's great is happening or something awful is happening.
Yeah.
And I turn on our app that we use to communicate with all our boys, Telegram, and this is what I read. Lance Cole saying, "Rex, this is all your fault for cursing us." And I was like, what? what's going on? And so I flipped the ESPN app on really quickly, and I see we're down 14-0 with 9 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first quarter, and we're 3rd and 14 from midfield. I'm like, oh no, what is going on? And it was an absolute meltdown happening on the Vols thread, as we'll call it.
Why was it all Rex's fault?
Yeah, I don't have no idea. I didn't go back to look, but Lance was accusing Rex that it was Rex's fault for cursing us for some reason. But Mark Jenkins was talking about, he was this close to saying we need to fire our coach. He was Jeremy Heupel.
I think I did read something about losing in all the big games or something like that. There's some kind of talk about that.
Yeah, and then when we called him out on it, he's like, I was just cross mogenation. I was trying to just switch the mojo or whatever. He wasn't. He was he was on the ledge. He was ready to jump off.
Yeah. I don't really know what the football season means for Vanderbilt University, but I'm thankful for my Vanderbilt Commodores this year. It was, I think, a little bit more fun than normal.
I think you should be thankful. They beat Alabama. That's a blessing from the Lord right there.
I have one of those commemorative T-shirts. I bought it just for the sole purpose of Scott Heath and everybody else I know that's an Alabama fan. Every time I get a chance, I'm going to wear it around them.
Put it on. Yeah.
Shock the world, shock the nation or something like that. I don't know.
There would have, if this were 20 years ago, they'd have made it like commemorative DVD, that you could have bought late night on, Channel 5 or whatever. For 1995, remember always the day that the Commodores defeated the Crimson Tide.
I'm hopeful that there's going to be like a Thomas Kincaid painting of some type where Pavia is going to have something like his words blurped out, bleeped out and then like turned at the bottom of it.
Thomas Kincaid.
I don't know who makes them. I know it's not Thomas Kincaid, but whoever the guy is that makes those commemorative sports pictures that people have, specifically in the great state of Alabama.
Yes.
I
cannot
feel like
remember
if
who that
Memphis
guy's
is
name.
known for like Memphis, if Memphis is known for like Elvis, like memorabilia, like the state of Alabama has so many artist renderings of moments where Alabama won football games or Auburn won football games. And I think all the Auburn ones are the ones where like the Lord is like holding up the football or something.
Yes. He himself is parting the waters as the guy returns the field goal back for a touchdown. The kick six.
Like Jesus is holding Bo Jackson's hip, like in the picture.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we veered off, but that's cool, man.
So I'm grateful for the Tennessee Vols. I'm grateful for a fun season, and I'm hoping that it goes on several more weeks. But that will be seen. So yeah, that's how I wanted to start today with my thankfulness.
Well, that's good, man. That's good. I appreciate that. And I can accept it. I can accept the Rocky Top, even though I don't care if I ever hear that song ever again in my life.
Well,
but
here's the thing, Jay. You should be proud. I have a lot of respect for you because so many Nashvillians, as Vanderbilt, I mean, the last 20 years have been better than the 20 years before because of, the James Franklin era and all that. But so many Nashvillians have turned to Alabama. And it's so sad. It's sickening that they have turned away from their first love, the Vanderbilt Commodores. And it's you and Nate Bargatze still holding that flag. That's it. You guys are waving that flag loud and proud. And just stay with it, man. Don't ever give up.
Jared Sleepy Morgan, for sure.
Sleepy Morgan, yeah. He's a big Vandy guy. Yeah, that's right.
Big Vandy guy. Well, they're there. They're just, we're subtle.
Out there.
We're subtle.
They're out there. Yeah, so don't give up.
It's like our black and gold colors. They're regal and they're subtle.
It's true.
We care about baseball season because basketball's not any good anymore. Yep. But maybe basketball, I think we're like 7-1 or 7-2 or something like that right now. So
one day,
who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
What are you thankful for, Jay?
Man, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I was thinking this is going to be kind of nothing quite as important as UT Vols, but man, I'm thankful for the current state of available options on television.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know that there's ever been a time in my life where I've got so many different choices to choose from, so many different Taylor Sheridan shows that I can watch. There's at least 4 of them on right now, I think, as we speak. Seriously, though, like, you can go from watching whatever late stand-up comedy person that's got one out to I was watching episodes of Tex-Mex Motors yesterday on Netflix where they go into like Juarez or different parts of Mexico and they go pick up this clunker and they turn it into cash and they make it this pretty car. And like, I don't know, like it's not something I should probably be spending my time like taking in, but whatever the case, like it's just sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of fluff in your life.
Oh yeah.
Like TV show shrinking right now blows my mind. I almost cry every episode. I love it so much. And I laugh almost to tears at the same time. Apple TV and what they're putting out with Silo is such a great show. I don't know that we're necessarily in the golden age of television like somebody once stated we were in the last 5 years or so, but there's just still a lot of quality content that I get to consume. And as someone at as early as 4 or 5 years old, I could tell you what was on every channel at prime time when I was little. I could tell you when Manimal came on, or Airwolf, or the A-Team, or Magnum PI. I could tell you when any of those things came on. Like, for me now, it's nice to be able to open up my television and kind of scroll through and decide what it is I want to jump into right now. And I'm taking in a lot of stuff, and I don't know. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to scratch that entertainment itch whenever I want to.
Well, they call it prestige television, like we're in the era of prestige television. Because growing up, it was, you got half-hour shows and you got hour-long shows, and that's it. And the hour-long shows basically were the more adult ones, so they came on later in the evening, and the half-hour shows were a little, they maybe more family-friendly, so they came in, 7 and 8 o'clock hour or so. And, it was like, those were your options, and they were all continuous stories, serial. Well, not all serials, but they were, for a full season of 20 to 24 episodes, and like, that was it. And then sometime, I don't know when it was HBO, I think, was the first to do it. It was like, if we want to make the episode 37 minutes, if we want to make it an hour and 5 minutes, we're going to make it as long as we want to make it. And we're going to do it on this. And we're doing this pay service, so we can have profanity or nudity or whatever, whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
We're not limited by the network, standards and stuff. And so that just changed everything about television.
We can have our scholars that watch this podcast because they're interested in it. They can correct us, but if I'm mistaken, I think the BBC was doing it a little bit before us. They had a similar kind of thing where it's like, if we want to make a season 6 episodes, we're going to do that. And because we're British, and I mean, we don't need to explain any more than that.
Right.
And, I remember that in several different things back then, but like for it to be picked up by HBO or picked up by these HBO, I remember the Sopranos being a big deal. I don't know what was before that kind of, changed the mold a little bit, but I think
there were some.
May have been the beginning of that prestige kind of era.
Yeah. They were the one that I think that like really set off the best shows on television are on HBO, or eventually became streaming services, things like that. It went away from CBS, ABC, NBC, like where people were getting their TV from, is now we're getting it from everywhere. But
it's not easy to watch a CBS show anymore, like, or watch one of those old school procedurals. Like, it is so specifically redundant. I mean, it's just like the same over and over and over, and you're just like, oh,
yeah, they gotta work pretty hard to change up the plot a little bit. But that's interesting. I don't watch a lot of television, Jay. You would know that. You would maybe be surprised to know that. I have maybe, right now I don't even think I have any shows that I'm currently like watching.
Well, there's a bunch of shows right now that I can't even get to. Like, Peacock put out something called The Jackal, and it's got I
want to watch that. It's what's that guy's name?
Yeah, I was going to call him Newt Scamander.
Yes, that guy. That guy.
That's gonna buy. I can see him.
You vamp. I'll go to IMDb and I'll tell you. Give me a second.
He played the genius scientist and won an award for it, and he's a really, really pasty British guy. But he's not. It's not James McAvoy. You know what I mean? He's the other one, whatever his name is.
Eddie Redmayne.
Yes,
Eddie Redmayne. Yeah.
Amazon Prime has a show called Cross out right now that is, the famous James Patterson novel that I think Morgan Freeman played him in some movies in the 90s and late 90s. And so they're doing one of those, and it's out. I haven't been able to watch it. There's just, there's a significant amount of like quality content that I just haven't made it to yet.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know that we need to talk about it now, but I'm kind of weirdly fascinated with the Taylor Sheridan phenomena.
Yeah.
we can maybe, I'll use that for my next one or whatever. I don't understand him. I don't understand why it's doing what it's doing. We can talk about that. But
I'm curious to talk about him a little bit. I think
people love that dude. They love what he's doing, and he is prolific.
He's got a lot going on right now.
I think I like him because he really didn't start writing and doing this stuff till he was in his 40s. So that means, maybe we'll be the next,
Yeah, I heard he sort of was like, I went and looked at his IMDb earlier because I knew you were going to talk about him a little bit. And he was an actor first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he realized, I think that he had a recurring role on one of these law shows. What's Justified, maybe, or something like that. I think he had a recurring role on that show. And he just kind of realized that this is what my life is going to be as an actor, unless I'm going
to be playing these roles, unless
I start writing my own stuff. And I think he wrote Sicario was his first big break in writing, and he just took off from there. Hell or High Water came not long after that, and he started doing Yellowstone. So I mean, it was just kind of this, chain reaction of stuff. And you know how Hollywood is. It's like you do one thing really well, people are like, well, let's do it again. You made us money. Let's see if you can make some more. You did something successful. Let's see if you can make something else successful.
Listen to this run here, Kyle. Yeah. He was in one episode of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yeah.
Party of Five. The Guardian. No. Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, it's been a long road.
There it is.
Getting from there to here.
NYPD Blue. CSI NY, CSI, Veronica Mars, Sons of Anarchy, NCSI, then Hell or High Water.
Yeah. What was his recurring role? He had like 21 episodes in one of those
Sons
shows.
of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. It wasn't Justified. Okay, Sons of Anarchy.
Deputy Chief David Hale.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a pretty fascinating. And he basically, from what I understand, he just like bet on himself. He's like, I know I can do this. I know I can write. I know I can direct. I know I can produce.
Yeah, good for him.
And that's kind of how it all started, from what I understand. So that's cool.
All right, what else are you thankful for, Kyle?
Jay, I said a little bit about being in Texas with my family.
Tejas.
In Tejas. That's my homeland. I was born in Texas. Didn't live there very long, but that's where my grandparents have been all my life. And now my parents live in my grandparents' home. They renovated it and added on, and it's awesome. We have several acres down there, and it's this joyful place. Well, we have this tradition. We swap the years. This year we went Thanksgiving. Next year we'll go Christmas. But whenever we're there, as much of the family that can be there is there, and we always go to a movie together. So I am thankful for movies with the family. That's what I'm thankful. And I'm not going to be schmaltzy, because what I'm about to say, Jay, is a public service announcement to all the parents that are listening.
Yeah, you're going to tell them to go see Wicked?
I did not say, I have not seen Wicked yet, but I'm going to tell you this. You might be surprised. I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of intrigued. The more I see good reviews. Now, look, I don't like musicals.
I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw Wicked.
I need a real quick lightning bolt review, 1 to 5.
Right now?
Yeah, just to right off the top of your head, 1 to 5 review. 4 bolts. 4 lightning bolts. Okay.
Yeah. It'd be 5 if it was about 30 minutes shorter.
Yeah, see, people need editors. That's why I'm here. People need editors. But anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of interested. But we did not go see Wicked.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande deserves an award.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to let that sit right there.
You think she was that good?
She was. She was phenomenal.
Wow. Okay.
Shockingly blew my mind.
Okay. So I don't know why I'm interested. I've just seen so many good reviews. I've heard all this. If you go see Wicked, you're going to hear the person sitting next to you sing it the whole night.
No.
So you didn't hear any people sing it in the theater. Okay.
No.
Well, I did not go see Wicked, and nor did we
go see.
We saw Moana 2.
Oh.
And Jay, this is a public service. If you are a parent right now, if you're thinking about taking your children to go see Moana 2, I saw that it made like $975 million or whatever this weekend. That's an exaggeration. No.
Okay.
It made 255, I think. It made
which is a lot of money.
A whole lot of money or something, but it made a whole lot of money. Here's my public service announcement. Don't walk. Run away from the theater. Run. It is awful. It is dog water awful. It is a terrible, terrible, terrible movie.
I'm just curious. Let's keep talking. I'm going to look up what Rotten Tomatoes says it is right now.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you're hammering it, and
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to go see it. I barely remember Moana 1.
See, here's the thing. I have a daughter who's in the age of Moana, Frozen. Those were sort of her favorite Disney movies growing up. And now, Frozen 2 came out a few years ago. Now Moana 2 is coming out. And so it's like, hey, we get to go relive this again. I really enjoyed the first Moana. I thought the music was amazing. It was fun.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, the big crab, and then the rock and, all these things. I thought it was really fun. I think some of the listen to your heart stuff is a little overdone, because the heart is deceitful. We know that full well.
Real quick, just for guesses,
Yeah.
shiggles, if you will. What do you think Rotten Tomatoes has Moana 2 at from the tomato meter and the popcorn meter?
The popcorn meter's probably going to be a little higher than tomato. I think audiences are generally liking it okay. I'd say maybe in the high 6s, low 7s for popcorn.
The tomato meter.
Yeah.
Let's go there first.
Tomato.
What do you think? What percentage it is? 1 to 100%. What do you think it's sitting at?
Like 65.
65% exactly.
What
do you think the popcorn meter is?
Probably like 75.
87, Kyle.
87. Wow.
Yeah. I think your daughter and all of her friends, like the legion of people her age, have gotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and they've scored it to that 87%.
Could be.
And dads everywhere are losing
Well,
right now.
Even my wife, I leaned over to her and I was like, this is awful. And she was like, yeah, it's really bad. It felt like it was, so just a couple of high points. Whatever plot there is, I won't spoil it. But the plot is not real clear. There's Moana is longing to find other people. So she's on a quest to find other people because all they know is, it didn't really occur to me, but like the only people she knows are the people on this little island that they live on. So she's like, I want to find more people. I want to bring them together. And it turns out that there's this other kind of god or something who has intentionally separated the people and kept them apart from one another. Because if the people are together, they can do great things or whatever. And so the whole movie is
Tower
about
Babel, if you will.
reverse Tower Babel. The people have already been scattered. She's trying to bring them back. And so she's on this quest to try to go find more people. And she takes some crewmates this time. It's not just she and Maui on the boat. And they have hijinks along the way. They go inside this clam, which is just like ridiculously gross. It's like for a cartoon, it's like intentionally everything's trying to squirt out goo and gross stuff.
That's enough. That's enough for that guy.
I'm not kidding. It's like they meet this like morally ambiguous. Is she good? Is she bad? Like vampire kind of. She's kind of a vampire.
Why not?
Yeah.
Is Abraham Lincoln there?
Abraham Lincoln is not, unfortunately. My mom was looking for him, hoping he was there, but no.
Because he could have been a hunter of this vampire.
He could have hunted the vampire, but no. That's my famous story. My mom watched about half hour of Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Slayer, on an airplane once, and she was like,
does not feel like that. It's historically accurate.
She thought she was watching the Spielberg Lincoln, which came out around the same time. She's like, I don't think this is historically accurate.
Amistad was so much better.
She's never seen that either. No, but so it was just plain bad. The music wasn't very good. The music was so good in the first one. The music wasn't as good. The saving grace for the whole movie, for you dads that have to go see this, you're taking your daughters, you're being a good dad, good on you. But The Rock is the saving grace. He's hilarious. He's got some really funny one-liners. His song is pretty funny. He's kind of got more like a rap, this song. The first one was You're Welcome, This one is a little bit more kind of like a rap. He does sing, but so he's the saving grace. The end is okay. Like lots of times by the end of a movie, even Marvel movies I'm excited about, I'm like, by the end, I'm like, can this just be over?
I felt that way about Avatar too, Kyle. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, not me, brother. Oh, I see you. Anyway, so the end was kind of exciting. They kind of redeemed a little bit at the end, but it was just bad. I felt it was poorly written. I felt it was a money grab. The plot wasn't very good. It wasn't thoughtful, and Moana feels like, oh, I failed, and at certain points in her quest, and she doesn't really fail. It's just circumstances are against her. It's just, I don't know. It's just really, really, it was really bad. So this is a public service announcement. If you have to take your family to the movies, you have children that want to go see it, here's what I recommend you do.
I'm listening.
Bring a babysitter and pay for the babysitter's movie fee, because that's going to be $15 or $20, right?
Smart.
Go ahead and buy some popcorn, whatever.
Yeah.
Let the babysitter go sit in the theater with the Moana-ites, okay?
Yes.
And then you go down
Gladiator 2.
You go down to Gladiator 2 or Wicked. Go see something that you'll enjoy.
I haven't seen Gladiator 2 yet. Have you?
Nor have I. No,
Let's go do that.
I'd like to go see that. We're gonna have to take my wife. She's wanting to go really bad as well.
That's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
So that's the thing. I'm thankful for movies with my family. It's so much fun. We have great tradition of doing this. We've seen a lot of fun movies. Just every other year, when back when the sequel trilogy was coming out, we'd always go see whatever the new Star Wars is coming out, whether it was episode 7 or episode 9. I remember those two specifically. It's just a lot of fun to take the whole family and go watch a movie together and, share a big tub of popcorn, because we're Wiltshires. We're not going to each buy one. We're going to buy the big one and share it, And
now you've all got COVID. All of you now have the flu together.
No, we're okay. We're okay. We dump it. We're hygienic. We dump it into a smaller receptacle, and then we eat from the smaller receptacle.
Okay. All right.
We get the one large drink, and then we have the little communion cup size, poured in and pass it out. So that's how we do it. That's how we roll.
And that explains to me why you're not spending $300 when you go to the movie theater.
That's right, man.
No, that's good. I have a lot of holiday movie memories as well. We did that a lot. The one that rings out the most to me was around Christmas. I think it was my senior year in high school. If it wasn't my senior year, it was my junior year. Jason Allen went with us, and we saw Tombstone on Christmas Day.
You're a daisy if you do.
Yes, and it was perfect. It was the perfect Christmas movie, almost as good as Die Hard.
Oh, Die Hard is not a Christmas. We don't.
We can do that in another episode. Thankfulness. I think you talked about going with family to movies. I'm going to take a slightly different bend on Thanksgiving and kind of what I'm thankful for. I cooked a 21-pound brisket for Thanksgiving. We had turkey there, we had ham, but we also had 21 pounds of brisket, and it was spectacular. And it kind of is a small connector. I'm thankful for amazing food. In particular, the chicken and the waffle together.
Oh, yeah.
On a trip to Vancouver a long time ago, in a strange place, I had a chicken and waffle and found it to be one of the best experiences of a chicken and waffle that I've had. And living in the South, you have chicken and waffle opportunities, and they always leave me falling short thinking about Vancouver. But today, in Brentwood, Tennessee, at 55 South Restaurant, there's several of them around Nashville, I had the chicken and waffle, and it is the best chicken and waffle I've ever had.
Wow.
It is fantastic. The fried chicken is spectacular. The waffle is very good. The right amount of butter, the right amount of syrup. It's sweet. It's savory. It's everything you could ever want more. Perfect for a brunch. I'm thankful for the chicken and the waffle and whoever put them together first.
Do you know the story behind that?
I hope you do.
Oh, I sure do. I sure do. You're going to love how I learned this. I believe it was a PBS documentary that I saw in high school or something about jazz musicians. And the jazz musicians in the clubs, they would go late into the night, early into the morning. And when they finished their set, they were hungry and they wanted to eat. And some of the musicians wanted dinner and some of the musicians wanted breakfast. And so some enterprising cook was like, I'll give you both. I'll give you fried chicken for dinner and I'll give you waffles for breakfast. Put it together and I'll satisfy both cravings.
Well, that man deserves an award, a prize, maybe a statue. I don't know. Do we know that man's name?
I do not know that man's name. There may
I'm
be
thankful for him.
Or woman. It might have been a woman. I don't remember, but it was somebody who was in a jazz club setting was like, these folks, these jazz musicians are hungry. I want to give them what they want, and came up with a way to do it.
Nashville is known for chicken, but specifically a type of chicken, a hot chicken.
A hot chicken, yeah.
Hattie B's is the fan favorite when it comes to your visitors. I'm having problems coming up with a word I'm looking for.
It's kind of the populist. Maybe it's the one that's most popular, but it's not the original.
I don't even know if this one is purely the original, but it's among the originals. Is Prince's?
Prince's is the original, I believe.
And you've had Prince's. I'm hoping.
I've had both Prince's and Hattie B's. Yes.
Yeah. So you know the story about Prince's, where that originated from, right?
I have, but I'd love for you to tell us.
There was a couple, and the wife found out that the husband was having he stepped out on her, if you will.
I believe it is
And
the Prince's, the Mr. and Miss Prince's original.
Yeah, and she decided she was gonna get him, and the way she was gonna get him was she was gonna make some fried chicken, but she was literally gonna make it the hottest chicken that she could make. I mean, the hottest, like burn his taste buds, like ruin him kind of chicken. So she made it, and he started eating it, and she's just, enjoying her little vengeance. And he's like, this is the best thing I've ever had. Next thing you know, she's got a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know what she did with the husband, but she got a restaurant. And to this day, that is how hot chicken was born, out of vengeance.
Oh, that is a very telling story,
And it's also like, it's a fun way to have an origin, even if it's not even true. It's
Right.
It's a fun hot chicken beginning,
It is a fun origin story. Again, whether it's true or not, it is a fun origin story. I have heard that story too. Yeah, that he liked it so much that I think they maybe already had a restaurant or something, and they started putting it on the menu, and it became their most popular dish
Now it's
or
all you
whatever.
get. Like, even their plain stuff is hot to me.
Yeah.
Like the plain chicken, that's just a little spice.
Listen, I can't do it. I can't do the spicy foods. I have a saying around my house. My boys hear me say it all the time. I don't eat it if it burns twice. That's my.
That's good.
That's my. It's one of my mottos.
It's Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. Whole different meaning there, buddy.
Man, yes,
Burns, burns, burns.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. Not my thing.
All right, Kyle.
Popeyes is just perfect on the spice meter.
Yeah, victory chicken.
I love some victory chicken.
Did you have victory chicken on Saturday?
I didn't. No, I didn't. Nor did I have victory chicken today. It's a sad day for the black and gold of the New Orleans Saints.
I was very upset last week when the Tennessee Titans won.
I know you
I
were.
was very upset.
You're one that
And
number one pick.
Yes, I was super thankful today that Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commander skins destroyed. They destroyed.
You are full on suck for Shadur, right? That's your.
I don't know.
You don't know if you.
I'm not for our current situation. I'm putting hope and change.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm close to that as a Saints fan. I think we're in similar boats. We have already jettisoned our coach. He did it last year, so we're in for a whole new thing. We got to clean house. We got to get our cap in order, and So who knows? We may be in the wilderness for a few years.
That's okay. It's all right.
That's all right.
You've had your Super Bowl.
I had my Breeze years. Oh,
You've had your Breeze years.
so good.
I'm still longing for such a thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to thankful stuff.
Thankfulness.
What else? What's your third one to be thankful for today?
Yeah, so this is my third and final thankfulness, and this is kind of a weird way to do it, weird way to kind of introduce it, but I wanted mine to sort of all be a kind of a sequence of events. So here's the third thing I'm thankful for. I am thankful for Gladiator. Even though I haven't seen Gladiator 2 yet, I went back in preparation for seeing Gladiator 2. I thought I hadn't seen it in a long time. The movie I've loved. I remember seeing it in the theater when we were still in college. I guess I was probably still in college. You had already graduated, but I saw it in the theater, and it was one of those always remember, seeing that movie for the first time and how amazing it was.
What we do here echoes in eternity.
That's right. Yeah, and just love that movie. And so it's been one of my favorites for a long time, but I hadn't revisited it in a long, long time. So we went and watched it. And I'm here to tell you that Gladiator holds up. The original Gladiator holds up. It is really strong. Now, here's the funny part. My kids wanted to watch it, and it is rated R. And I'm not trying to be a prude or not trying to be like a fuddy-duddy about. But I thought, maybe it might be a little too intense. They're not of age to watch rated R movies yet. So I was like, let's just watch it edited. Let's just watch the edited version on TNT or whatever it was. You could easily stream it. What's that?
Look at my face.
Yeah, you're not happy about that decision?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So we watched it, and let me tell you, watching it edited makes the gladiator scenes in the arena darn near undiscernible. because
somebody's doing something, Dad. I can hear it.
you see them come out with their weapons and they're facing off, and like, you know, there's a woman in a chariot with a bow, and there's a tiger come out of a pit, and there's all these crazy things, and you hear ching, ching, ching as the swords flash, you know, and you hear stuff going on, and you hear the crowd, "Rah!" And it's like you're seeing like these slashes and cuts, but you never see sword hit skin. You never, you know.
And Joaquin is looking all,
He's like, yeah, you know, and so he's making all these faces, and then it's over, and you know, Maximus is standing there drenched in blood, holding his sword up, you know, and oh man, the actor who's his friend in the arena, I cannot remember his name, Jamin Hunsu is there, and he's with him, and they're celebrating, they've won, you know, and it's like, what happened? How did that happen? So what I had to do was, like, I've seen it so many times I can kind of remember. I was like, oh yeah, when he's on his back there and he swings, yeah, he cuts that person's leg off. You know, so I had to like give color commentary. Yeah, that guy, he picked him up and threw him on spikes. That's what happened there. And when he went like this, yeah, he cut that guy's head off. So I was giving all the play-by-play of what did happen, you know.
So to be fair, Kyle, your boys did not see this movie; they heard about it.
They heard about it, yeah, about those parts.
Okay, well,
one thing
I guess their imagination is what's been tarnished, but their eyeballs are still intact. That's great.
Their eyeballs are intact. I couldn't remember. The other thing I couldn't remember, because it has been so long since I've seen it, the weird incestual scene, you know, when he's trying to like kind of like force himself on his sister. I couldn't, when the Joaquin Phoenix character, the Emperor.
On Connie?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It's real awkward and creepy. And I didn't remember how far that scene went, but I remember feeling it always made me feel uncomfortable to watch it. So I was like, well, if it's
those
too
Romans,
much,
man, those Romans.
Yeah, it was very Lannister. I don't know how we always get back to the Lannisters here on our podcast, Jay. But yeah, so it was, yeah, and you know, she got out of it there. And you know, if you're curious, you've never seen Gladiator, but I'm here to tell you, the original Gladiator holds up. I super enjoyed it. I had a great time. My sons both enjoyed watching it. They really liked it. They thought it was cool. Hearing about the battle scenes, you know, but seeing all the rest. When's the last time you visited Gladiator, Jay?
I tried to watch that with my girls when they were probably 16 or 17, and they got bored. Like the first hour is a little slow, and the setup's a little slow, and they got bored, and I don't think we made it. I don't think we finished it.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that the first hour is slow, but it is building. Like I remember the first time I saw it, and even seeing it this last time again, it had been a lot of years since I'd seen it. Like feeling the intensity of like as it's building up. So you know, Marcus Aurelius, who was the emperor at the beginning of the movie, has said to Maximus, "I want you to succeed me. I'm not going to have my son Commodus as the next Caesar. You will be Caesar." So you know that's happened. And then the confrontation between, you know, father and son, and the son kills his father, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? Just that whole buildup is so intense. I think so well done to me, you know, and just kind of gets you, you know, wondering what's going to happen. Then they take Maximus off. They're going to kill him. And all of a sudden, boom, it turns into a whole different movie, you know, because he's sold into slavery and, you know, and becomes a gladiator. And it really takes this turn that, you know, obviously just builds to this amazing climax. So yeah, man, it was fantastic. I had such a good time, and I cannot wait to see Gladiator 2. Cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited about it. I haven't done it yet. I almost went a couple times. We did go see Wicked, and I didn't know anything about Wicked. I mean, I knew it was Wizard of Oz, but I didn't realize it was like, I don't know, it's like mildly Harry Potter-esque. Like they're in school together and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't really know what to expect with any of that. And I was delightfully surprised, like the turns. And I got to tell you, probably the best use of Jeff Goldblum that we've had in 10 years.
Wow. Better than the game maker, the gamekeeper, whatever from Thor, Ragnarok.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not a big Goldblum guy. He's kind of an acquired taste.
Well, he's perfect. I mean, like, he is the great and powerful Oz
in this film,
and it's perfect.
I do want to get back to Gladiator in a second, but for going back to Wicked, the mythology of Wicked, I do not understand it at all, because I've never seen any other movies. I've seen The Wizard of Oz probably half dozen times growing up. I feel like that was one of the rainy day movies in elementary school.
Yeah.
They would put the Wizard of Oz on, and everybody would watch that and enjoy that when it was raining outside. Couldn't do recess.
Did you ever get into like the weird stuff, like somebody was hanging in the background on the?
Yeah, I remember in high school when we heard that urban legend, we're like, if you go to this certain point in Wizard of Oz, it was like the same thing with like if you play the Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd at the same time, like it matches up.
It does.
Yeah, see, I've never done that, but I remember all those like urban legends about the Wizard of Oz, and so we tried. Me and some of my high school friends tried to look for the hanging man in the back, and we could never find him.
Yeah,
so I don't think it's real.
It's not real, but the Wizard of Oz kind of has that for our age. It's I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's our Avatar or our Titanic or whatever. It's the thing. But yeah, the mythology is really interesting because they build it in a way that you don't really necessarily understand how it's all going to turn. And for the most part, we still don't quite understand because it's a cliffhanger. It's part one. They're making a sequel.
They pulled the Dune on you, didn't they? You get in there and you're like, oh, I'm here to see Dune. And they're like, oh, this is Dune part one? What?
It was, well, you didn't even know until we got to the end. It was like to be continued. And you're like, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. The actual like Wicked play isn't that long. Right. So I don't.
Yeah. I'm like I said earlier, I'm curious about it, even though I'm not a musical fan. But I've just heard so many good things that I'm kind of, I don't know if I'll go to the theater to see it. Maybe when it comes on streaming, I'll seek it out. But
I was surprised at how the turns.
Yeah.
Like they do wonderful narrative turns that I enjoyed, and there's a couple of musical montage moments that I didn't really know the Wicked music. I don't either. Could you name a Wicked song?
No, I've never heard any of it. No.
So the famous one is, there's two. There's like one called Defying Gravity and the other one's called Popular. And Ariana Grande does this Popular thing. And I got to tell you, man, like it should win. It should win awards. Like it is that impressive of just one moment, one thing, one whatever.
Yeah.
She steals the show.
So let me ask you this. In The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy's house lands in Oz, the witch that comes out to help her follow the yellow brick road, is that Ariana Grande's character?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Except in this story, it's Galinda.
And
she shortens it to Glenda.
Okay. And then the melting witch, is that Cynthia Erivo?
Mm-hmm.
So somehow they're going to get at odds. They're going to have a falling out and become mortal enemies.
Maybe.
Okay. Because so that's all I know. There's all these reimagining of the Peter Pan stories that have come out over the last 10 years. It's like where Hook and Pan were actually buddies or something. So when I first started seeing the Wicked commercials, I was like, wait, the green one and the blonde one are friends? I didn't understand it because I always thought from seeing the Wizard of Oz as a kid that the blonde one at the beginning and the green one, that one was like, she was the bad guy. So I just, I had no idea.
Yeah, I feel like the play was probably written before Harry Potter.
Okay.
But I found there to be some similarities in the story a little bit. And I liked it quite a bit. Like it was a really well done thing. And I don't know if it may not be your cup of tea. Like, I don't know that I'm going to go see it again, but I mean, like, really, really well done. It deserves all the awards. If we're in the, the Barbie Oppenheimer world right now, where it's Gladiator and Wicked and Moana or whatever it is, whatever the three are right now, like, it's a good time to go see movies.
Yeah, I'm super happy for it. I love movies. It's one of my favorite things in all the world to do, to go to the theater. And so I'm happy for success of the movie theater.
Do you remember when we went to see Master and Commander in the movie theater?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I remember Russell Crowe boasting that this was going to be like the next big thing, like bigger than Lord of the Rings, because apparently Horatio Hornblower or whoever the author or the character, I don't remember what, of those stories has supposedly had this great cult following. And yeah, that was an interesting movie. It had like one or two good parts. The rest is pretty boring, is what I remember.
we went to see it, and we went to like the $1.50 theater or whatever. It was like after it'd been out a while, and the last 5 minutes of the film, it broke, and I never went back and saw the end of that movie.
You never saw the end of it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if he became a master or a commander. I have no idea.
maybe both. Who knows?
Maybe both. Maybe both.
Have you heard? I want to go back to Gladiator real quick. Have you heard anything about Gladiator 2? Are you like staying away from any intel on it or anything? Do you know anything about it, or where are you at with the, the plot and all that stuff?
I've stayed away. I understand Denzel is trying to take over, and he's kind of using young Maximus Jr. to do his bidding, but I don't really know more than that. I don't know why the two emperors are pasty white. It seems to be a thing that people are talking about. I don't know why. And I haven't, other than the fact that it looks like there's going to be water in the arena. It's about as far as I've gotten.
I'm very confused because I'm looking at the commercial and I'm like, well, okay, so the young guy's supposed to be the new Maximus, and they've got the emperors instead of one crazy emperor. Now there's two crazy emperors. And then
the Mandalorian's just in the middle of this. And I have no idea.
I'm like, why is he in there? Yeah. Why? What is his name? Gosh, why Pedro Pascal? Why is Pedro Pascal in this movie? And I
don't think you can make a movie in the last 5 years unless Pedro Pascal is involved in some capacity.
He's got to be in it, right? He has to, or a TV
show. It's
show.
like a rule.
Yeah,
it's a rule.
It's a rule. His answer machine, it just, like on his phone, when people call him, the answer machine comes on and says, "Please leave a message." It just says yes. Whatever you're offering me, the answer is yes.
He's been in some good stuff. Did you ever see the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
I saw a few minutes of it, and I really did enjoy. Really did enjoy it.
It's amazing. Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal. It is well worth a ridiculous jaunt into whatever world. But yeah, I mean, Mr. Fantastic, Mandalorian, The Last of Us. Is that what that is? That's what the show's called?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. He's in all that stuff. He's in a lot of it. He's prolific. Prolific.
His episode of Saturday Night Live in the middle of that, I think it won Emmys. Like, it was one of, like, he's got this post-apocalyptic Super Mario skit that is crazy awesome.
I have to check that out. All right, Jay, what do you think? What's your last thing you're thankful for today?
I'll put a little bow on this, Kyle. I'm really thankful for this podcast. This is
me too.
We used to talk just about every morning because we had a commute in, and I don't think you've got your commute anymore, and so our schedules are off, and we don't talk about ridiculous things. And so the fact that we get to come together every other week and talk about just some ridiculous stuff, I'm thankful for that. Like, it's still fun to me. It's still real to me, Kyle.
It's still real to me too, Jay. And so is wrestling. It's still real to me. We won't go there. Yeah, no, this podcast is such a blast. Like I said earlier, as I was setting up in here, I was just getting really excited. Like, man, we hadn't done this in a couple of weeks. I'm really fired up to do this. It's just fun. I think it gives me an opportunity and gives us an opportunity just to chat and catch up, but also, sort of express our quirkiness and our things we enjoy and share the things that we enjoy with people. I know we're not curing cancer out here. We're not, saving babies or digging wells or anything. We know we're not doing that kind of work, but I think
we're making some friends.
We're having fun. Hopefully, we're making some friends. Yeah.
Letting people know it's okay to care about dumb stuff sometimes, because it's not dumb. It's fun.
Just to enjoy it. it. Yeah, man. And to talk about it with your buddies.
In some ways, even though I went pretty hard on Avatar 2 the other episode, like
you did, man.
A lot of trolling going on. Sometimes in the internet, when it comes to podcasts, you get a lot of trolls that are just trolling, and I don't think we're doing that.
No, I think we're giving our honest opinions. Like I went pretty hard on Moana too. I did not enjoy it, but I think we're not.
Did you call it dog water?
I did call it dog water. I don't know where that came. I don't know where I heard that first or where that came from, but I've heard that it's popped up quite a few as the descriptors of something bad, and so that's
real bad.
That's real bad, Jay.
All right, man. Well, any final Thanksgiving words for you before we wrap this one up?
I mean, we need to. I'm springing it on you, but we need to say what we've learned. We need to talk about what we've learned today. I can maybe go first if you need a moment.
No, you go first. I'm ready.
I know that Jay called the Vanderbilt Commodores the Fighting Watsons.
That was actually Justin Wainscott that did that.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
I
liked it though.
I did not know that the Vanderbilt Commodores were now adopting the moniker of the Fighting Watsons. No?
When you were driving to Texas after that touchdown, it was, what about those Fighting Watsons? Something like that. Fighting Jay Watsons. I don't know.
I love it. I have been downtown before and not known that there's a Vanderbilt game going on, and all of a sudden you just hear this just coming all over downtown. The Commodore is tooting his horn or whatever.
Yeah, he is.
Whatever they do.
yeah, they do.
Jay, what did you learn today?
Whatever you do, Kyle, don't go in the clam.
Do not.
It's gross in there.
It's bad.
All right, buddy.
It's real bad.